welcome to Barely News. Reporting live from Brockport, New York, I'm Casey Newell.
And I'm Nikki Mendoza.
We'll start off tonight's episode with our Ebola-thon 2014 segment, covering the disease that is slowly rampaging the civilized world as we know it. Ebola has reached Dallas, where patient Eric Duncan was admitted with the disease. This happened after Duncan flew back to Dallas from Liberia, one of the countries in which the outbreak is occurring, and was admitted twice into a hospital before he was identified as having Ebola. Duncan died in the Dallas Public Hospital a week later.
One of the nurses who treated him contracted the disease and is now isolated and in stable condition.
In regards to the mishap and readmission, Dallas Public Hospital only had this to say on their Twitter account, and I quote, "Our bad, guys. We really f***ed up this time." But, on a lighter note, Dallas Congressman Pete Sessions called for a complete and utter quarantine of the African continent until the disease has been contained.
On a more extreme note, Todd Kincannon, a former GOP executive director from South Carolina, proposed a simple and overlooked idea.
Why not use airstrikes to destroy and decontaminate the villages in which Ebola is spreading?
Arguing that napalm was the only truly effective and humane vaccine for the disease, the pro-life advocate voiced his favor for the use of lethal force to contain the spread of disease.
He has some good points, however. For example, during the United States bombing campaign of Vietnam in the 1960s, the use of napalm saw no discernible rise in Ebola cases in the region. While he's expressed no explicit desire to nuke Dallas, he has also tweeted that he would prefer the use of execution to contain disease spread from medical professionals returning from West Africa. In unrelated news, Mr. Kincannon's PR representative was found dead in a South Carolina hotel room, the victim of an alleged aggravated suicide attempt.
Now we go to our on-scene reporter, Skip Montana.
Hi, this is Skip Montana reporting live from the field. This is my cousin Ebola reporting about the Ebola epidemic, and it appears that this is the wrong Ebola. Back to you, Nikki and Casey.
Thanks, Skip. That was educational. Speaking of education, we go to our new segment, Teaching on the Rise, where we'll go to the education capital of the United States, Louisiana, where student-teacher relations have hit an all-time high.
Two teachers at Strahan High School, Shelley DeFresney, age 32, and Rachel Respis, age 24, are currently under criminal investigation for allegedly having sexual relations with one of their students.
The three apparently met at Respel's apartment after a football game in which a misconduct occurred. Attempts to reach the victim, who was unidentified, were unsuccessful.
In other news, we go to Delaware, where the mother of a 4-year-old is under criminal investigation for drug charges after her daughter accidentally brought in 249 packets of heroin.
The daughter then apparently proceeded to pass out the packets to fellow students, believing them to be full of candy. Teachers intervened and contacted local authorities. With us in our new segment, Breaking Backpack, we have the mother of the daughter in question, live with us in studio. Welcome to the studio, Miss
Indigo.
Indigo. Is that a family name, a cultural name?
It's a name that I go by when I don't want people to know my name.
All right,
Okay.
Starting off on a good note.
So, Indigo, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I graduated with honors from my middle school when I was in 8th grade. I was about 14 years old. I was already advancing on to, being a part of society, a functioning member. I continued on to work at a couple different places, a car wash, Wendy's, and now I work down at the little corner store. I'm the Slurpee gal. So.
Well, Indigo, on top of your adventurous and entertaining life, how many children do you have?
Well, it depends how we're counting them.
How many children do you currently have living with you?
6.
Well, that's Child Protective Services for you.
So, how would you describe your family dynamic?
Well, I like to call it a loose nest. I don't try to overbear on my children. I'm not one of those mothers that's always there. I just try to do it from afar and let them live themselves, grow and develop like I did.
Do you think that's good for them?
What do you mean? You gotta have the children learn themselves. They got to advance. Hell, when I was 8 years old, I was behind the tennis courts. So,
Now you must be pretty confident in your daughter's abilities. At 4 years old, she was able to acquire 249 bags of heroin.
I mean, like I said, I don't helicopter. I don't know what they're always up to. I'm not sure. So I don't know who all her friends are, and obviously she got in with the wrong crowd. So I've had some talks with her. I'm not happy about it.
I imagine not.
She's 4 years old.
Right.
Right. So that's very young to be handling cocaine and heroin and
I mean, now you're just adding in charges. There's no cocaine, okay? But the heroin, I don't know. I don't know where it came from. And yeah, she's 4 years old. She's smart. She's smart like a whip. She'll probably graduate earlier than I did.
Now, you were not involved at all within this
No,
incident.
no.
This is completely isolated to your daughter.
Absolutely. I haven't even touched heroin in like 3 weeks, so it couldn't have even been my staff. Couldn't, no.
Well, has the father had anything to say about this situation?
Well, if you get in contact with him, you can ask him yourself and let me know.
That might be a little difficult.
Yeah,
So-
tell me.
what are your plans for after release?
Well, I'm gonna go down to the corner store. I'm gonna get myself a big blue raspberry. I'm gonna go over to the elementary school and give everybody a piece of my mind.
That's very inspirational. We're gonna end this enlightening interview with one last question. That is, do you believe the justice system has failed you or your children at all during this investigation?
Absolutely. That's why an innocent woman, me, myself, Indigo, is going away to jail for something she didn't have anything to do with. We just assume it's a parent's fault. It's always a parent's fault. That's wrong. It's Obamacare is what we're living in, and it's a problem that we got in this country.
Well,
All right.
ending this episode on that colorful interview. Reporting from Brockport, New York, and signing out, I'm Casey Newell.
And I'm Nikki Mendoza.
Have a good
Indigo.
one.